ways to add weight to that bar. Lift as heavy as you can on as many exercises as possible. I will tell you this though, taking this single rep and elongating it, dragging it out, increasing the length.
What's going on, YouTube? This is Vincent from Vince Tremblay Fitness, and today I'll be talking about the infamous the Jeff Cavaliere scandal, so to speak. And so the reason I'm bringing this up today is because I guess a couple weeks ago I had released a review of Athlean Xero, and in the comments a couple of people were asking, hey, what's your take on Jeff Cavaliere's lies? And I was like, well, I don't know what you're talking about, what lies? And then later it came out that he was using fake weights. So that was a little bit of a shock to me, just because I guess I trusted Jeff Cavaliere a lot. And even though I had seen some stuff on his channel that I disagreed with, I was usually willing to look past it. But what happened is that when that came out, I decided that, you know, it is worth looking into, because there's, the whole, okay, well, is he using, first of all, is he actually using fake weights? Or if he is using fake weights, for what reason? Is it because he's doing a photo shoot and he just wants the, it to look good? He's not really trying to mislead people, but, let's say he can bench press 225. Instead of doing it with real weights, he's doing it with fake weights so that he can do his demonstrations. I thought it was worth looking into. So I went to the source of the allegations, the Athlean X videos, and he faked doing a 315 pin press, and he was doing them for reps. I mean, that's pretty hard to do, and it's pretty hard to do with ease. And he had faked, the big one I guess that everyone noticed is that he faked a 5-plate deadlift back when he weighed like 165 or 170, which would be like a major feat. That was a little bit disappointing to me as a person who spent some time weightlifting and cultivating my strength and doing like a really dedicated, focused training to reach a 5-plate deadlift. That was disappointing to see. It really was, because he didn't just leave it at that. He was like, oh, by the way, here's me pushing almost sort of 500 pounds. And I guess if he means almost sort of 500 pounds means 300 pounds, then maybe, he wasn't lying, but it was definitely, deceitful. But, at that point, I was like, well, you know what? Maybe I should still give him the benefit of the doubt. You know what? He's trying to grab some viewers to his channel so he can share his good information, because, at that point I was still a fan of his. So, I'm always, I guess it's just human nature, right? I was just more willing to look past something like that. Why did I trust him so much? When I first started getting interested in working out, he was, the channel I went to, and that was way back when. I think, I must have been like in my early 20s. I'm 30 now, right? So that gives you an idea of timeline there. I learned a lot from him back then, right? So learned about the face pulls and not to do behind the neck shoulder presses, and to opt for standing shoulder presses over sitting shoulder presses. So it's not like he had no value, and he's still, I don't want to take away anything from the positive that he's done for the fitness community. But as I started working out more, I kind of stopped watching his videos, right? Because he's more geared towards the beginner lifters, because that's like 99% of the population. I read a bunch of different books, and I educated myself on proper lifting techniques and on actual programming. I remember that video, the 5-plate deadlift video, and that's when I was chasing a little bit more strength than anything else. And I thought it was shocking that he was able to do a 5-plate deadlift, and yet he never really addressed programming on his channel. Anyway, so I just let that one go, and I kept training and did my own thing until his channel kind of came back up on my radar because there was a bunch of, I'll call them like skeptics in the fitness community. So there's like 3 or 4 channels that what they do is they watch fitness content. They will debunk, you know, the information that needs to be debunked. You know, I knew a little bit by the time I was watching those guys. So when I'd see them debunk stuff, I used my brain and realized like, oh yeah, of course, that's a load of nonsense, right? Based on that, I started trusting their information a lot. And at some point, and I don't really know his last name, but the guy's name is Alec. He had criticized Athlean X for not being a strength coach.
His PT bias is really dominating. As we can see, he's clearly overly concerned with creating balance and working stability at the shoulder girdle, which is fine. I'm not saying don't focus on that. On the contrary, it's something I put a great deal of effort into myself. But then we move on to his actual strength training advice, and well, sadly, it really leaves a lot to be desired.
Channels, right? Those skeptic channels just lashed out on him like, how dare you, like, you don't know what you're talking about. Jeff Cavalier, he's like the OG, he knows what he's doing. So I'm like, yeah, I remember that guy, sure, yeah. So then you know, I kind of like, it kind of like reinforced my trust in Athlean X. So I would watch his videos, but like kind of like in the background, not really paying too much attention to it. When people would criticize him, I'd be like, oh, that, like what do they know, right? Especially when you know, the criticism comes from some guy who's really being abrasive, right? Like doesn't really want to make you pay attention to him. Anyway, what was left then was his information. I was like, well, look, whatever. Like he's being deceitful, but at least he's giving out good information. But then I guess some people did a better job at watching his videos than I did, because they pulled out like some really bad information he was sharing not that long ago. And like stuff that, if you know anything about fitness at all, or even if you don't, you should know better. He said that in order to squat more weight, you should exhale before going down.
Now do it the way I'm showing you here. Breathe out and tighten down. Contract your abs forcefully. Be conscious of how hard you're contracting your abs. Make sure that you've expelled the air and that you're tightening up from the inside out.
So, empty your gut, empty your lungs, and then squeeze your abs so you're getting rid of all the pressure in your body, and then folding yourself over before squatting. And that's just not how you do it. That's the first thing I learned when I was learning about proper squat form, when I read Starting Strength. Just 4 months ago, he made a video about a workout program for losing weight, where he adapts the German volume training and he programs 70% to 80% of your 1 rep max for 10 sets of 10, which is like, it's not possible. It's setting up your viewers for failure. And like, it's clear that he has not tried it before programming it, but it's also clear that he hasn't researched it. If you, like, whenever I write myself a program, or if I write someone else a program, I will look it up. That's all you got to do. You know, hey, German volume training, what's the percentages? 60%, 50 to 60% actually. So 60% is the high ranked. So that was, I mean, that was really the last strike for me. He's not being honest about what he can do, and mixed in with the good information he has is really atrocious, unforgivably bad information, well, then what's left? Like I want to go back and say, like, I still don't regret buying that program, but if I'm gonna give someone my money, like, I might as well, hire a coach that's qualified, or whatever, like get a custom program by someone who's like a strength coach. Before I go, I'm gonna go over some of the other criticisms that have been said about Jeff that I thought was worth watching, that have happened over the last week.
To look like an athlete, you got to train like an athlete. What does that even mean? Because I'll tell you what, Jeff Cavaliere does not look like an athlete. If you got 10 million subscribers and that is your motto, look like an athlete, train like an athlete, to look like whatever it is, you're misleading all the athletes. You can't get bigger and stronger and more lean. Let's take a look at the facts here. 6 to 8% body fat or something like that. He's 180 pounds or something along those lines. So if we just think about this logically, what happens if he goes to actually athletic body fat? 12, 14% body fat. What is he gonna be? That, because he's all sucked down right now. How much is he benching then? 400 plus pounds for reps on a harder movement? You know what I'm saying? Like, just think about it from a logical point of view. You can't be shredded to the bone and strong. Everyone wants to get bigger and stronger and leaner. So if you have a spokesperson that's teaching you all the secrets of how to look like an athlete, 6% body fat, 2 times body weight bench press, it's not gonna happen, guys.
And really, his channel is more of a bodybuilding channel. If you just look at the amount of biceps workout and training videos he has, it's not really conducive to athleticism. I just realized in all this excitement that I forgot to do my outro for the video, so here it is now. There's probably going to be a part 2, just because it's a lot of stuff to cover in one video. I brought out some good points, and you agree, or maybe you're also an Athlean X fan and you heard what I had to say, then feel free to comment in the comment box down below. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you disliked it, of course, give it a dislike. That's fine. I understand. You're probably not everyone's gonna like what I had to say. And if you want to check out some of my other content, I'll have some videos blooped up there. And just if you like what you're watching, just make sure to subscribe to this channel. And in the meantime, have yourselves a great day. Bye.